He's back to being Carson Beck.
I can't remember the last time I seen an Arizona team this good.
Alabama is horrible on offense.
Shout out Bobby Huggins.
What's going on? We're back. I know it's been a really weird schedule for me and Shep lately here. We apologize. It's the holiday season.
Busy people.
Holiday season. We got football. We're going to recap all the bowl games happening. And we also got basketball. We're going to start out on basketball. So, Shep, let's get it going.
Sir, it's going to be quick just because there's not many games and we want to talk about football since it is football time, big time football. So we'll recap this weekend. Let's talk about Saturday. We had a couple good ones. Obviously, let's talk about Arizona, Bama first. Arizona ended up winning 96-75. Luke, I'll let you give me your thoughts first since I know you big Bama guy. Seven minute thoughts about this game.
I thought we had a great first half. Thought we looked good. We didn't look perfect or anything like that. But it definitely felt like after the first half, it was all right. This is going to be a battle second half. This is a 100% winnable game. We can win this game. I don't know what happened. It looked like just a completely different team came out in the second half. We got absolutely just killed in the second half, dominated. It was very embarrassing loss for us, in my opinion. It looked like everybody they gave up within like the first 3 minutes of the second half.
I was going to pretty much say the same thing. I think you guys looked really good in the first half. You played physical. You were matching their physical team, and you guys were matching them play by play in the first half. You guys looked really good. And then coming out in the second half, I think the main contributor was the Burris kid, freshman 5-star, along with Pete. He came out and just lit you guys up for 20 points.
Yeah, he finally started to start shoot those 3-pointers. He had those looks in the first half.
He just
kept on.
Yeah.
Well, he kept on not even taking them. Like he would think about a pump fake or whatever, then he'd drive or do whatever, and he wasn't taking them. In the first half, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like, man, I hope he doesn't start like shooting those and making one and seeing him go through because he's getting the looks are there.
Good looks, yeah.
And that's what happened in the second half. That kid went off. I mean, shout out him. He had a great game. Bama, the game plan was there. They took Pate out of the game. They got him in foul trouble in the first half. They got him out of sync. The game plan was there. This was such a winnable game for Bama. It was so there, and I seriously don't know what happened in the second half. They just fell off a cliff. Bama fell off a cliff. Downfall of the year.
Yeah, I agree. I think you guys had them. It was a very winnable game. Just second half coach, you guys. Yeah, Braden went 11 for 19. I'm pretty sure most of his misses were in the first half. He just caught fire in the second.
Yeah.
It helps when you have 2 5-stars like that. 2 great freshmen.
Yeah. So. And that just speaks to Arizona. I mean,
yep.
One guy has
Number
a bad
one.
night. You got another guy right there to pick up the slack. So shout out Arizona. They are by far the number 1 team in the country. They actually own the state of Alabama, too. I mean, they beat Auburn earlier this year, and then they just beat Bama. So, Arizona, you own the state of Alabama. Congrats.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I seen an Arizona team this good. Actually good. I remember DeAndre Ayton's team. I know they were number 1 for a while. That's the other team comes in the mind.
Yeah, that was when Sean Miller paid DeAndre Ayton to go to
$1
Arizona
million.
there.
That's how it was. Sneakers was only $1 million. Now it's like what, $7 million?
Yeah, that's just the type of coaches that Xavier University hires. They hire cheaters. But
Sean Miller sucks.
Besides the fact of that, shout out Arizona, great win for them. I'm not worried about Bama. I mean, I've said it time and time again. These are great early season games. I love it. These are March Madness games. You know,
exactly.
You got to get
them off.
You got to get these players up to speed and get them ready. So I'm totally cool with it. The one thing, the Bama, they have a very big physicality issue right now and rebounding issue. I think maybe stat wise, they might be one of the best rebounding teams in the country on paper, but that is a complete false lie. They are not physical at all, getting rebounds, and Nate Oates is getting ready to not play some dudes here pretty soon here that should be played on the floor, but they're not going to play because they don't rebound. So we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. All right, second game, going to a sneaky good game in the first half was Maryland, Michigan. Maryland was keeping up with Michigan in the first, I would say, 10 minutes. Michigan ended up pulling away, ended up winning 101-83. I just got to shout out the Lindenborg kid. He's probably going to win National Player of the Year. The Power Forward transferred from USF. He had 29 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. it was kind of just give him the rock, let him do everything in the second half. That's why Michigan ended up winning and scoring 100 points in 6 games in a row now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But
6 in a row. Wow.
yeah, they can score the ball. So
Carrying that
shout out
university.
Coit for Maryland, though, at 31 points. So gotta shout out the underdogs. What else we got on Saturday? We had another good one in UCLA and Gonzaga. Gonzaga ended up winning 82-72. My boy Mick at over at UCLA, he's been struggling this year. Donovan Dent, I know they were coming in as one of the better transferring class in the country, and they just dropped to 7-3. It's a good 7-3, I guess. They're ranked 25th, but I don't know if I would be worried if I was UCLA. I would be more worried if I was Gonzaga. I feel like Gonzaga should have kind of handled them a little bit better than only a 10-point victory. But shout out Ike for them, the big center. I feel like he's been there for at least 6 years at 25 points. But have you watched that game at all? Any thoughts on that?
Uh, do you think there's a possibility UCLA would move on from Cronin?
It's tough because he hasn't had terrible teams. I remember he went to the Final Four with the kid on Miami. I forget his name.
But like, I
He
feel
had a
like
good
the
squad that
vision
year.
there is,
It's
championship. Or
it is because UCLA it's one of the biggest programs. I think if he doesn't do well this year, he's definitely going to be in the hot seat. He's probably already on like borderline line of it's definitely being
Yeah.
talked about at
Is
the
there a
university.
world
It's being
where
talked about.
Cronin finds his way back in Cincinnati?
I would I wouldn't hate it because I hate Wes Miller more, but Cronin wasn't the best at UC either. At least we won games with Cronin, so can't hate Cronin for that. But that's a different time, different topic. He probably won't come back to us. He probably go somewhere else. But
Yeah, he definitely wouldn't. So
if he's listening to this, I would love you back right now this season. We'll get to the UCs after this because I have my own controversial thoughts on that. Last one we're going to talk about Saturday was Nebraska, Illinois. This game was not on my radar because I didn't think Nebraska was that team. But Nebraska's got a squad out there.
They
The
won.
Cornhuskers, 83-80. They are now 11-0 against Illinois. Nebraska's good. They got a squad, dude.
Just
Got a
after
squad.
that's just after I said something about them being ranked too the other
Yep.
week. Wow.
They got a squad. Shout out Sanford. I think that's how I say it. 32 points for him. I mean, you beat Illinois, one of the better teams in the country. One of the better teams, I think, in the Big Ten. Probably one of the best.
What did Stojakovic have?
Let's go look at the stats. Their leading scorer was Wagler, who doesn't even have a picture. He had 19 points and 10 assists.
Doesn't he have a picture? Wow.
Yeah. Let's see here. My boy Stojakovic went 8 for 16. Okay, 19 points. Looking at the box scores, it's a very even matchup going on right now. I mean, it was only a 3-point victory. The only slight advantage Nebraska had was the 3-point. They shot 46, and then Illinois only shot 34. So when it comes down to that, it's who wins ball games.
Nebraska, the Cornhuskers.
Nebraska. Shout out the Cornhuskers.
Unbelievable.
Might be a sneaky team come March time.
Could be. That's a first. I can't remember the last time I ever heard of Nebraska basketball, actually. I wonder if they've ever been good.
Yeah, can't remember it all.
Like, do they have any famous alumni?
The little the kid from China transferred for China's from the pro.
That dude. Yeah.
Lefty.
That
Steph.
yeah. We're
'Cause
crazy.
he was a dog.
Yeah, we don't know
I forget his
ball.
name.
That was just last
We don't
year.
know ball. It's 2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago.
I want to say it was 2 years ago.
Huh.
I want to say it was 2.
Yeah. He was. Did they make the tournament that year? I think they
They did. They did make the tournament, and he was lighting people up.
Hey, that dude's a sniper. He had a
Yeah, I think that was the
flamethrower.
best. Flamethrower. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. Oh my god. If you know the name, put it in the comments, please and thank you.
Chad, get to it.
Chad, get to it. Final game on Saturday was Kansas and NC State. We'll talk about NC State a little later, but this game came down to OT. Kansas ended up winning by 1, 77-76. The only thing that stood out to me this game was Council Jr., a kid I haven't heard about on Kansas all year, dropped 36 and 7. It's the reason they won the game. I think Duran might have went out in the second half. I think he's still struggling with his hamstring injury. But when you got somebody off the bench that scores 36, you're going to win that game.
Bench? Sheesh.
Yeah,
That's not a
Melvin Council
consistent
Jr.
thing.
It might be now. I don't know, but yeah, that was the finish off Saturday night. So it was a good win for Kansas. NC State's been in a couple battles,
They have been. They have been.
so
But that's good for them. I mean,
it's good for him. Will Wade.
I'm sure they'll end up being a March Madness team. So
Then we'll just go ahead and talk about Will Wade and his comments earlier. I think it was the game either Wednesday or Thursday. They came off a 30 point victory. One of their kids had a 41-point game, broke the ACC record for threes, which was 11, I believe he hit. So he had a press conference come out, let's say yesterday, Thursday, and he's talking about his team. And it's probably one of the best post game interviews I've ever heard in my life. He was talking about daycares, and my favorite part was he was telling his team after the game, after a 30-point victory, that no one on that team would crack his top 50 toughest players he's ever coached. And he took a gap year too. Said he doesn't run a daycare.
uh, that's funny.
He's
He's a
like, I
good
don't.
coach. I like him.
He's like, I don't care if my boy scored 41 points.
That's
His
the type of
team's been
coach you want.
soft. Yeah, I just want to shout out Will Wade. Now he's in my top 5 coaches for this year. After that, so
Shout out Will Wade. Love
shout
it.
out Will Wade. All right, we're going to Tuesday games. See if there's any good ones. Oh, one of the Tuesday games that caught my eye was Tennessee Louisville.
Oh
Tennessee ended up
yeah.
winning 83-62. I ended up turning this game on with the last 3 minutes just to see what it was because I thought it would be a close game. No, Tennessee took care of business against Louisville. Manhandled them.
That's a great win for Tennessee.
That's
Tennessee
a
really
great
needed
win.
that. They really
Needed
needed
that.
that win.
Needed that. They were struggling. They came off a couple tough losses, got blown out the game before, and they come out against a good Louisville squad, one of the best scoring teams in the nation, hold them to 62 points. You beat them by 20. That's pretty impressive.
Was that
Pretty
at
impressive.
Tennessee?
At Tennessee.
Good
So,
win.
looking at the box scores, due for Tennessee was Gillespie at 23 points. 10 for 10 for the free throw line. Pretty well. Then looking at the Cardinals, obviously the kid from St. X, Ryan Conwell, probably the best transfer putting up numbers right now. Kid's elite for Louisville. When Mikael Brown doesn't play, he's the guy, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened this game. I think Brown was out, so I don't see him popping up on the score sheet at all. But yeah, that's an impressive win for Tennessee. Got shouted out. So
Very much needed one. Good for them.
much needed win. They moved to 8-3 now, so my danger meter for Tennessee has definitely lowered after that game. I think they kind of proved that they are still one of the better teams in the country.
Yeah.
And then I do want to shout out Northern Colorado for putting up 90 against Texas Tech.
Did they lose?
Texas Tech ended up winning 101-90, but it's Northern Colorado. Put up
Jeez,
90 on them.
Texas Tech. They need to
Texas Tech, that's scary.
figure it out. That's supposed to be a really defensive sound team too.
Always and
Texas
forever.
Tech giving up that many points. Wow.
Shout them out. Might have to watch.
Okay.
Might have to watch them now. But we're going to Wednesday's games. Luke, if you want to talk about your Bama and South Florida, it's a much closer game than it should have been. If you want to get on that.
Well, that's a special game because the head coach at USF, he used to be one of Nate Oates' assistant. He's one of Nate Oates' right hand guys there. So, I kind of figured. I mean, it's very two similar offenses, just run and gun style, jack up the three. Alabama didn't play. Their best game. They definitely could have played better, had better defense, but you got the win. I think that USF squad, I think that's a pretty solid squad for, we'll call it a group of 5 school, like we do when we talk about the football teams. They're a
Mm-hmm.
solid squad. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of success down the road. But like I said earlier with Bama, they've got a physicality problem and a rebounding problem. So they gotta man up. That they need to man up for sure. But you got the win, and Holloway had a good game. The backcourt had a good game. Alabama's always going to be a backcourt led team. You can either like that or hate it. I'm solid with it because I think our front court, I think the gap that of not the gap, the leap that Aiden Terrell's made from last year's freshman year to this year's sophomore year. I think it's a lot better than I expected it to be. I didn't think that he was going to be this valuable as the big man for Bama, but I think he's played great this year. I think he's probably the one guy who is the only physical guy for Alabama in the front court. He still needs to be more physical. I think he can play better, of course, but he's played good. He's played great this year. He's our best guy in the front court for sure. But it's a good win for Bama still. Took care of
Yeah, it's
business.
just one of those games midway through the season. Not midway, but
Yeah, it's
going
just
through the season where it's just like it sneaks up on you.
yeah,
You're like, oh snap, let me
it's like a
focus and win this game.
pick you up game.
No, I agree. It's a good one.
Get you
Wins a one.
back on track after that loss to Arizona there.
Yeah, but yeah. Then last game I want to preview is obviously UC. We played a nobody. We ended up winning, but the major discussion that I am not a fan of at all is bringing our leading scorer and best player back from last season, Jizzle James, back. If you guys don't know, before the season, Jizzle was going to be predicted one of the best players in the Big 12. And then for some reason, Wes Miller never announced, even to this day, he got kicked off the team. Apparently, he's still enrolled at UC, so that's why I was able to join midway through the season. But Wes decided as his final straw, because he knew he was going to get fired after the season if they don't start winning some games, to pull a kid that must have done something bad if he hasn't said what it is, and just start him and just let him play. Obviously, I mean, he had a good game. We won by like 30. Shout out Baba, but I just think that's a terrible decision by a coach. I get you're about to get fired. You're trying to do what you got to do to win, but you got to let us know what he did. If
Yeah,
it's
no, I agree.
something major, like let's say it was failing school or something other like violence, something like that, you can't just ignore it until the end of the season and say, oh yeah, this is why it's kicked off, and then that's it. So I just think that's a very cowardly move by him.
Yeah,
I honestly do.
I think he thought that they would look a lot better than what they've looked like right now, and that they wouldn't really need Jizzle. But like you said, he's on his last legs here. If
Yeah.
he knows that if he doesn't win games, he's going to get fired. And Jizzle is somebody that you can bring back in who can win you games, especially in the Big 12.
Yep.
So this is his last dart. So I think ethically it's wrong, especially if you don't come out and say what he did, because there's a lot of rumors circling about what he did allegedly. Won't get into it because they're all rumors. Nothing's confirmed, so there's no point. But the fact that he hasn't said anything makes it look even worse. So
Yeah. Yeah, you said what I'm thinking. So that's all I'll say about that. Also, shout out Sorsby. I wish you the best luck, my king. I hope you go to Texas Tech because I will be cheering for Texas Tech next year if you go. So,
is that all we got for basketball?
yeah, we can preview some games, upcoming games. To look forward. Let's say what was this day? Saturday. Saturday's a couple good ones. You got Auburn, Purdue, Duke versus Texas Tech, and then Houston, Arkansas. So we got a good slate Saturday night games. If you want to give my predictions, Duke's going to murder Texas Tech, Purdue is going to murder Auburn, and Houston is going to murder Arkansas. And I would put money on that if I could.
Auburn, really? Okay.
It's at Purdue. So
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
At Purdue, and I don't think Auburn has found it just yet. This could be the game they find it, though. So
I
be a good
doubt
one
it.
to win.
I highly doubt it, but you never know what could happen.
Yeah. But all right, quick basketball. So now it's football time. Go to football time.
So let's do football. Since Shep mentioned Sorsby there, actually, it's a great reminder. I'm going to do a little transfer portal update here. Some guys that have already declared and all that. So you got Sorsby. It's looking like he's going to go to Texas Tech there. He's from Texas anyway, so that's unfortunate for UC. And
We'll miss him.
I think Satterfield, I think he hit it home there in his interview, basically saying, like, look, we can't afford these good players, and that's kind of the reality and landscape of college football right now, which is unfortunate because I think NIL really brought the opportunity to parity, and I think you got some parity right now, but I think it's starting to teeter to going back to not having a lot of parity. because that's Texas oil, and Texas isn't the only state that's got a lot of money to put into athletics there. Shep, did you have to say something?
No, I just
No, you
Texas
know.
Tech had the most spent, right? They have the best NIL just because of the oil.
Yeah, they're definitely up there with one of the top spinners for sure.
I think they spent the most this year for college football. I want to say I'm almost positive.
They might have. I'm not
Yeah.
entirely sure, but that's they're definitely a top five spender, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
So
Oil, baby.
you got Sorsby in the portal there. That NIL deal is rumored around $4 million allegedly. It's not confirmed. But another guy, Florida quarterback DJ Lagway, has entered the
Lagway,
transfer
yep.
portal. The freshman tackle from LSU, completely blanking on the name, so I apologize. He was a former 5-star coming out of high school. He just entered transfer portal. Let's see. You got the quarterback from North Texas. I forget his name.
Oh yeah, he's in the transfer portal.
He's in the transfer
What's his
portal
name?
now too. He's probably going to just follow his coach and go to Oklahoma State there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of any other. I feel like I'm missing somebody. That's a pretty decent name. Not entirely sure though. I know Alabama picked up a guy from Oklahoma State, a tight end, 6'6". Pretty raw potential guy. We'll see what happens with. He's definitely going to need to be developed, but he's got the tools there. Shep, do you remember anybody?
Nothing's coming off besides those three. I knew Lagaway, Swordsby, and the North Texas were the main three that I can remember.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I think
if we're missing anybody, say it in the comments, aka at chat.
I know there's probably a couple Michigan guys that got out of their letter of intent. There might be a couple transfer guys. Keep an eye on Bryce Underwood and what happens with that. I know the quarterback from Ole Miss. It's rumored that he's not gonna play. I don't think that's
No
true.
way.
I don't think that's true. I really don't. But even if he does play, you might want to keep an eye out on him transferring after the year and going to LSU with Kiffin. But Kiffin could bring another guy in. You don't know this stuff.
I do want to say, hey, shout out Kiffin. I just saw a post of him doing hot Pilates at LSU.
Yeah, that's his thing. He does hot yoga, Pilates, whatever that's called. He's very outspoken on that.
Took a picture with two beautiful women.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. SEC. At Auburn, Malcolm Simmons, wide receiver, he entered the transfer portal. This is kind of just a Bama thing, but Bama actually snagged up Auburn's wide receiver coach, who was the wide receiver coach at Ole Miss, I believe, when they went with A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf. I think he's had a couple other guys there. He's put a lot of dudes in the NFL as a wide receiver coach. And Alabama, they got him from Auburn. Look, you can say what you want as, much as I hate Auburn or whatever, he's a very good position coach. He's a good recruiter. So I think that's a great hire on Bama's in there. So there's probably a couple more guys coming from Auburn in the transfer portal. We'll see what happens with it, though. But I think that's all we got for transfer portal news. Like I said, we're probably missing stuff, and there's going to be a lot more stuff. And I think that's something after football season that I'll kind of mix into when me and Shep are done talking about basketball. Maybe at the end of the show or whatever, we'll update transfer portal, maybe recruiting, stuff like that. But with that being said, let's get into these playoff games. So we'll start out Friday.
Big game.
Today's Thursday, right? Today's Thursday?
Yep, tomorrow. Okay. Big game for the Bama.
Yeah, we got Bama at Oklahoma. This line's
1.5.
It's 1.5 in favor of Bama, which, I don't. It does not make sense to me. We're still beat up. Oklahoma beat us. Actually, no, it moved. It finally moved. Oklahoma's favored. So
yeah, sorry,
it opened. It opened up.
It opened at Bama, yeah,
for Bama. But Bama missing LT Overton on the defensive line. That is a huge miss. Cannot express this enough. That is a big miss for Alabama. And Oklahoma's getting back their best defensive end there. Let me get the name for you guys because I'm blanking on it. 1 second.
Anyways, the over is 40.5 for that game. I'll give my thoughts on this game. I put $25 on Bama. So
I don't know
roll
why you would do
tide.
that. That's a bad bet.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row.
That's fair. R. Mason Thomas is the guy I'm talking about. He's back healthy for Oklahoma finally. He's their best defensive line player. He's an absolute monster up front. My thoughts for this game, of course, I'm always going to pick Bama. I'm picking Bama to win this game. But Bama's got a big issue right now, and this is it. All right, you either win or you go home. So there's no more excuses or no more sugarcoating anything. Your offensive line performance, at some point, as a coach, you need to grab their face mask and look at them in the eyes and be like, you need to man up, let your nuts drop, and go kill that person that's lined up across from you.
Go kill that man.
Go kill the man. Exactly. Go kill the man. Because Alabama football, I don't care what style of offense you're running, who's the head coach, who's the offense coordinator. No top premier program in college football should be averaging around 2.5 yards a carry. That's atrocious, and it's got to get fixed ASAP because you will not win this game. I think offensively wise, both these teams are struggling big time right now. Oklahoma is horrible on offense, and Alabama is horrible on offense. But Oklahoma, you can understand it more. They're pretty young up front on the offensive line. Mateer's had the hand surgery and all that. So Oklahoma, I get it. But Alabama, I don't get it. It does not make sense. They should not be this bad. I said it, a couple weeks ago, and I probably mentioned it. It's a slump. It's a slump. You'll get out of it. This is it, though. I mean, you either come out of the slump or you don't come out of the slump and you go home. So they've got to be able to run the ball. I think the defense will be fine. I'm not worried about the defense. The reason Alabama has lost the last 2 games against Oklahoma is because they haven't taken care of the football. You go back 2 years ago at Norman there, we only put up, I think, 3 points. We turned the ball over multiple times. This year, we outgained them in pretty much every stat category. But we had, I think, 3 turnovers, 3 or 4 in that 2 to 4 range. And that's pretty uncharacteristic for Bama there. So I think if you just take care of the football, whatever team takes care of the football, doesn't get greedy, controls the field position, will win this game. And if you want to go that route, I think you should probably take Oklahoma because, Brent Venables, he's not a risky guy. He's not a risk taker, and that's played in heavy favor to him. On the other side, Alabama, Kalen DeBoer, they don't care. They do not care. They will go for it on 4th down. We'll see what happens on this game. Like I said, I'm picking Bama. Shep, who are you going with?
Yeah, I think you said it. I think it's going to depend on turnovers. Who turns it over the least? I'm going to go Bama. Like I said previously, I like the 1.5. I'll take that.
And that's fair.
I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, it is hard. It's hard to beat a team twice in the same year. It's very hard to do, but I think that line there of -1.5 in Oklahoma I think that's completely valid there. Oklahoma should definitely be favored. So,
yeah.
But we're both going Bama, so we'll see what happens.
Bama.
And this is, like I said, this is Friday, and it's 8 p.m. night game there. That's a daunting
Everyone's
environment.
Gonna be watching.
Very daunting environment. Yeah, Alabama, just run the ball and please get the ball to Ryan Williams and just let him make something happen with his legs. Because if you look back to last week, that was one of the very only bright spots of the Alabama offense against Georgia was we finally were able to get Ryan Williams going a little bit, getting the ball in his hands, let him get yards after catch, and he made some plays. We ended up abandoning it just because Georgia absolutely just dominated us. But you got to find the way. You got to just get your playmakers the ball. And I can say that all I want, but I understand the issue is up front. When the offensive line plays that bad, you really can't get your playmakers the ball. You're in survival mode at that point. So moving on. We'll go. Let's just do James Madison, Oregon, and Tulane, Ole Miss, real quick here. Okay, Shap, I take it we're both going Oregon and Ole Miss, correct?
I love the spreads on both of those games. Fun fact, the JME one did go down. I'm pretty sure it was a 21.5. Now it's a 20.
Oh,
So
big jump there, huge jump.
big jump, huge jump, huge jump. But
Um,
yeah.
breaking news right there. But
Mhm.
I said it before. I think this is a complete joke that these are 2 games here. I
I hope they
guess
prove us wrong. I really do. I hope Tulane or James Madison come out and win one of these games.
I don't, because then I'm gonna have to eat my words here. So I've been very outspoken on it, but I guess the only team I could see even having a chance is Tulane, just because Ole Miss is going through a coaching change. But at the same time, what's happening at Ole Miss, and it's just so rare, and it really doesn't happen a lot. Is usually when a team loses their coach, the whole vibe's killed, season's killed, everything dismantled. It's almost like that entire university is
They're
just
fired up more.
they've rallied. They've completely rallied. They've revamped. It's almost like they might end up being better with Golding. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm outspoken on Golding. I'm not the biggest Golding fan as a play caller, but I'll tell you what, that guy is. He's one of the best recruiters in the country. So he's not gonna have any issue getting talent there. And one of Lane Kiffin's final wishes was he let his coordinators go back to Ole Miss to coach these guys in the playoffs. I think that was a great move by Lane Kiffin. So it's not like they're missing everybody; they're just missing Lane Kiffin, and I get it. Lane Kiffin's a swagger. He's the life of the party there. But Pete Golding, he's got some swagger too to him, and that whole team, they've rallied behind him. They support him. So I think Ole Miss is still going to kill him. And Tulane, their head coach John Summerall, he just took the head coaching job at Florida. Okay, so he's 50-50, probably not even 50-50, probably more towards Florida, trying to get things under control, get it ready. I mean, he just lost DJ Lagway to the transfer portal. Okay, he's got to find a quarterback now. Okay, so Ole Miss is going to win this game, and then to Oregon, James Madison. Great year for James Madison. Great story. I'm sure you guys have had a lot of fun out there in Eugene, Oregon, traveling there, visiting. But what Dan Lanning's getting ready to do to you. Oh my gosh. Oh my
I
gosh.
can't wait for that pregame speech to come out.
If any parents are watching this, or if you have a child, or if you're in charge of a child, you're a guardian, do not let your child watch this game, because it's going to get really ugly. Dan Lanning's going to show no mercy. Dan Lanning's pissed off. He is pissed off because what happened last year, they laid a goose egg in the playoffs there. He's pissed off. In Oregon, I'm telling you right now, Oregon has the best path, the best road in this playoff, easiest one to get to that national championship, and they very well could. They're playing some really good football right now, team football. It's not like it's one-sided offense or defense. They're playing 3 phases of the game. You play 3 phases of the game, you got a really good shot at winning a national title there. So Oregon, of course, they're taking this game away. They might even have Evan Stewart back. I think he's back at practice. I doubt that he plays this game. Maybe if they, blow James Madison out of the water early, maybe he gets a couple reps, later or something, just to get acclimated to the speed there. But we'll see. But that's what we got for those 2 games. Miami, Texas A&M. This is the.
I do want to say one thing.
Yeah, go for it.
12 p.m. is crazy
For this game?
for the time. It's a noon game.
I
I
didn't
feel like
even
this
notice
one
that.
should be
It's
the noon game.
This
Yeah.
is noon.
This is the noon game, and I feel like it's kind of disrespectful because it's the best game of the weekend.
Why is this the noon game?
Couldn't tell you.
I have to work while this is going on. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and I think that is a shame that the Oregon and James Madison game is the 7:30 night game. No offense
Nobody's
to
going to
Oregon.
watch that.
I
Nobody.
might tune in for the first couple possessions, but Miami and Texas A&M, that's going to be a phenomenal game, and it's at noon. Which, I mean, I guess it's fine. I'll be watching it, but
Dude, somebody needs to be arrested.
that's criminal.
This is an act of terrorism.
Terrorism.
But this line, I got Shep, I got A&M here at 3.5. Is that what?
3.5, correct? And then the 48.5 over.
This is at. Listen, this is at A&M. Oh my gosh, they're. I'm telling you right now, Miami's so lucky this game is not at night at Texas A&M because holy cow, it wouldn't even be close. If this game was 7:30 at Kyle Field in College
Hmm.
Station, Miami might not even come out of the locker room. I'm just telling you that
No.
right now. But I'll say this: Miami, they have Carson Beck. Carson Beck has SEC experience, whether you want to say it's good or bad. Still experience, and he's got experience playing on the road. Carson Beck, he's had flashes this year of this guy's back. He's back to being Carson Beck. That was early on. But then he had a couple games where it was like, holy cow, he just threw 3, 4
Three
picks,
picks. Yeah.
something like that. I think in their 2 losses, he's got maybe like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks total or turnovers. I don't know. Somebody will
He's
correct
looked
me
like a
on that.
bum.
I'm sure Chad will. But he's looked back to being, Georgia Carson Beck. Um, this kind of really messes up my thought process with this being the noon game because I really thought this was a night game. Miami's got a real shot, actually, since this is noon.
I think the opposite. I think A&M absolutely slaughters Miami. Night game, middle game, morning game, doesn't matter. I can't believe this line is 3.5.
What do you
I
think the
can't
line
believe
should
that.
be?
6.5. I think A&M will beat them by 2 touchdowns. Miami was in a terrible ACC conference, losing to two terrible teams, and Texas A&M's one loss was against a good Texas team that was figuring it out at the end of the year. That's
I mean,
their
you're not
only loss,
wrong.
and they've looked great. Marcel Reed's a dog. I
You're
just
not
can't believe this is 3.5.
you're not wrong, but I think these two teams they match up pretty well. I really do. I think this is a Titan versus Titan. You got a really good defensive line at Texas A&M. Their edge rushers going against uh, probably going to be first round tackles at some point here. I know at least one of them is going to be probably a top 10 pick there from Miami, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the other one will be somewhere in the first round probably. But they match up very evenly here, so I get it. I'm gonna go A&M here. I think for Miami to win this game, I think what you need to do is don't don't put it up to Carson Beck. Don't try to let Carson Beck be a superhero or anything like that. Everybody knows that he has one of the best arms in the country and that he can take a game over. Everybody knows that. But he's a pocket passer. He doesn't really make a lot of plays with his legs. And when you have that style of quarterback, you have to have a run game. If you don't have a run game, you're completely screwed because that puts so much pressure on a quarterback to be able to do everything through the air. It's not reasonable. It's not realistic. So of course, Miami, you got to find a way to run the ball. I don't think you need to run the ball for a lot of yards, but you got to at least make that defense respect the run game to where they have to stack that box, and when they stack that box, you run some play action, and you get probably the best freshman in the country, Malachi Tony. You get him the ball. I there's I don't care who you put over on him. I don't think they're guarding him. You could put Caleb Downs man to man coverage against Malachi Tony. Caleb Downs is an outstanding player. He's going to be probably an NFL great. I I don't think he's going to be able to guard Malachi Tony man to man coverage. If you haven't watched Miami this year, Malachi Tony,
I think
he's lightning
that's
in a bottle.
disrespectful to Caleb Downs.
It's
He is
well,
a great player, but Caleb Downs is a no. He's a top 5 pick right now, projected.
he's not going to be top 5, but he's a safety. He's a zone coverage guy. Put
He's a
him in a robber role. He's not a man to man coverage guy. He's a man to man coverage guy, but listen, nobody's guarding Malachi Tony man to man coverage in the slot. It's just not happening. That dude's lightning in a bottle. I just said that. Give the ball to him. I don't think you want to run like me. I wouldn't run quick screens or anything like that behind the line of scrimmage. You need to get north and just keep going north. I hate when teams go side to side. It's very annoying to me. In moments, it can be good and all that if you're running it out of an RPO scheme. But give the ball to Malachi Tony. If you can run the ball for north of 100 yards, I think you put yourself in a very good spot to win this game. Third down is going to be huge because, like I said, uh, honestly, it's going to be huge for both these teams, which is common sense. Ruben Bain, the defensive end, their edge rusher for Miami, he's going to be a first round pick. He might be a lottery pick. And then Cassius Howe for Texas A&M, he's one of the best edge rushers in the country too. I think one of those guys. This is crazy for me to say, but I think one of those guys might get a strip sack fumble, at least one. If I
Calling it, okay.
calling it right now, one Ruben Bain or Cassius Howe, maybe a strip sack fumble, something like that. I think it's very doable. But like I said, we're going A&M in this game. Shep, you're going A&M as well, correct?
A&M by a touchdown.
A&M by
But
a
yeah, we'll
touchdown.
go Aggies. Go
Wow,
Aggies.
that's an aggressive one. The A&M offense, I'll chat about them here. I think they've been a pretty good, solid group this year. They definitely could be better than what they have. At this point, I kind of want to say that maybe they haven't. I don't want to say they've been a disappointment because they haven't been a disappointment, but at least for me, with how I viewed A&M this year, I expected more out of them. You got Mario Craver, and then the other guy. Oh my goodness, Mario Craver and who? Who am I thinking of? Let me look him up. Shep, do you know who I'm thinking of? Maybe wide receiver. Casey Concepcion, Mario
Casey
Craver,
Jones.
Casey
Yep, I just pulled
Concepcion,
him up. Concepcion.
and then by Texas A&M, they got a third guy, Ashton Bethel Roman. That he's really good too. So you got a three-headed monster there. More of Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver. Those two guys, I've already said, I think they're one of the best. They're a top three wide receiver duo in the country. They might be number one. Those guys, you just got to force feed them, just completely force feed them. Because the one thing about Miami's defense is I'm not extremely high on that secondary and that defense. I think Miami's got a pretty good box. But secondary-wise, I think Texas A&M can definitely take advantage of them. But that's going to come down to Marcel Reed making throws. It's Texas A&M, they have one loss. That was to Texas. Marcel Reed didn't have the best game. I forget, it was South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They
Where
had,
down
I think,
by 20 or half.
they came back. It was like 31-3. They came back. That first half, Marcel Reed was missing throws left and right, throwing picks left and right. And they came back, won that game. You're not going to – if you have a slow start like that, that's not even a slow start. That's a horrific start for Texas A&M. If Marcel Reed is off with his throws here, it's going to get really ugly for A&M there. I don't think it'll happen because I think Marcel Reed, I think this is kind of like probably a prove-it game for him. I don't think he's thrilled with how the end of the year went for him, especially how he was in that Heisman conversation, didn't get the invite. I'm telling you right now, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I think he takes this game over. I would love to see it. I think it'd be great for them. But you never know what will happen with it. But that's the A&M offense there. You just don't got to get cute with it. Just play your game, and you'll be fine. You're at home. Lean on that crowd atmosphere there. Shep, anything you want to add?
It's criminal. It's a noon game. Criminal.
Yep. Criminal. It is a noon game. Heisman. Mendoza took the Heisman Award. Congrats to him. Whether you want to say it's deserved or not, if you want to say this year was a horrible Heisman race, free country, freedom of speech, you do your thing. I still think, he was a Heisman winner. I think he was. I know the stats and all that. I get it. I really do. And I understand the argument of it, but the stats that's not the main thing. It plays a factor into it, but on the field product matters. I have no issue with Mendoza winning the Heisman. I think he deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely outplayed everybody for it anyways. So congrats to him.
He's a great
Bad Guy
kid,
of the
too.
Year. Great kid.
Great kid.
Bad Guy of the Year award. Shep, do you want to guess?
Diego Pavia.
Diego Pavia is Bad Guy of the Year. An absolute child, joke of a man, the most immature person that's breathing oxygen right now. This is year probably 6 for him in college football,
Mm-hmm.
and you're acting like that. You're a grown adult, and you're acting like that. That's a complete joke.
Going to the club and putting up signs like that saying F Indiana. Or no, the Heisman voters. Was that the one?
It was F F Indiana, F Heisman voters, maybe
Yeah.
F Mendoza. Mendoza did literally nothing to you at all. Mendoza's a great kid, great guy.
Great kid. Put it on LinkedIn that he won the Heisman.
Yeah, that's that's a great
That's
guy,
awesome.
good guy. But yeah, Diego Pavia, bad guy of the year award goes to him. I'm sure I don't even know he's not going to play in the NFL at all. So who knows what he'll end up doing? Maybe one of you
I
guys
really
will.
liked the kid too. I
I
liked him
don't.
before all this. It was the end of the this year. I would say by that, I think after the Tennessee game, where I started to say like, okay, he's trying to be like Money Manziel,
Yeah,
but you didn't win the Heisman, and you're not Money Manziel.
yeah, you're not. Who knows? Maybe one of you guys one day you'll buy a car from Diego Pavia. You never know.
Sure.
So, but trying to think anything else I want to add to football. I don't think there is. Shep, anything we're gonna say
Shout
this
out
week?
Ohio University's coach. Just came out today that he was let go of his head coaching position after a long tenure there because he was drinking on the job. I think that is every man's dream to be coaching at college level while intoxicated. I think that might make you coach better. I think you could debate that.
You could ask what's the UC former basketball coach that went to West Virginia? What's his name?
Bobby, yeah, Bobby was a raging alcoholic, and he was the
Bobby
best.
was
He's a top five coach in NCAA history.
Yeah, Bobby had to be drunk 24/7. There's no way
It
he
was
wasn't. He got it
yeah,
DUIs. Anyways, he had to be
multiple.
drunk in those games. Had to be.
Yep.
But
Shout out Bobby Huggins. Yeah, shout out drinking on the job.
yeah, shout it
Just
out.
kidding.
Just kidding though. But shout out OU. You guys are getting a new football coach. See what happens with it.
Yeah.
OU, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll probably be back.
We'll be back
We're gonna
Sunday.
try to
Review the weekend soon.
we're gonna try to be back Sunday. Christmas is next week, so it's probably gonna be Sunday and then probably a week off, maybe something like that.
No, we'll have a recording for the Christmas. We'll have a Christmas special.
Okay. Me and Shep got to plan it out and talk about it, but sure, yeah, we'll do Christmas. We'll talk about it, figure it out. So, but I'll post on the socials when the episode drops and all that. So, we apologize again for the delay for all this stuff. It's just been pretty busy here, but Shep, you want to send us off here? Any quote of the day or anything else you want to add?
Oh, I had the quote. Give me 5 seconds. What was the quote? Oh, go kill that man. That's a quote. Shout out Bowman. Me, Luke, and Bowman. Bowman's one of our friends of the show. We are on our big lifting phase right now, and
Winter
every day
arc.
we text our chat. Go kill that man. Go see that man. I know. Shout out working out, getting fit. Make sure you stretch before leg day though. And
Yeah, make sure you stretch. Don't be Shep.
mhm,
But
don't be like me.
all righty, Shep, send us off.
Tell your boys you love them.
All right, we love you guys. We'll see you.